If you're an Airbnb host, I have great news. Airbnb owes you money and you don't even know it. There's a point that Airbnb owed me over $50,000, and when I tripped over this, I almost lost my mind. So I'm going to show you how to go through your transaction histories and your upcoming payouts in order to discover where Airbnb has missed paying you on some things. And that way you can call them, you can go through this process of resolution to make sure that you're paid every dollar that you're owed. So my name is Rakidzich, you're watching Airbnb Automated, and let's get to getting you paid. Welcome back, Airbnb family. Today's a special video because by the time you watch this video, we should have crossed the 30,000 subscriber mark here on YouTube. It warms my heart to know that so many of you are actively working on improving your quality of life and using Airbnb as a way to get it done. So I wanted to give back in a special way and in a way that all hosts could benefit from the video. So this one is kind of cool because I'm absolutely certain that if you've been a host for any period of time, if you have multiple listings, Airbnb owes you money right now. And I'm gonna walk you through how to go about collecting that money so that way you can put it back in your bank account. And with that said, timing, really strange timing here. One of our subscribers, RT, brought to my attention that he had another issue related to this same topic, and there might be a second way that Airbnb owes you money. So we're actually gonna lead off with his, and then I'm gonna talk to you about mine. The first one, our team brought to my attention that him and some other hosts, April 28th, for about a week, there were arrivals where guests booked, paid, and stayed, but it did not show up in his upcoming payouts. And of course, since it didn't come up in his upcoming payouts, it did not complete, he never got paid for those reservations. So let me show you how to go and reconcile your reservations against your payouts to make sure that none have been missed. So let's do this on a web browser. This is probably gonna be the easiest way. And you're gonna pull up two tabs, okay? So tab number one, I want you to pull up your multi-calendar. So your multi-calendar should have all of your listings. If you have more than 5 or 6 listings, a multi-calendar option should be available. And then in another tab, I want you to go to performance, and then you're gonna go to the payouts or the earnings section. To get there, RT also showed me another hack. I told you guys in the last video to erase where it's airbnb.com/progress/earnings. So delete earnings and reload progress and then click the earnings tab, but you don't have to do that. So click performance, then click ratings. You'll notice that the URL changes to airbnb.com/progress/ratings, and then click earnings, and that'll bring you to your earnings section, and it'll show you how much money you've been paid for the month so far. What I want you to do is below earnings, you're gonna find a transaction history link. Click on that, and there's gonna be two options. There's gonna be completed transactions and upcoming transactions. It might be listed as completed payouts and upcoming payouts, but you get the point. What I want you to do is go to the completed transactions or completed payouts tab, and I want you to do this to cross-reference. First, you need to know how payouts work. When a reservation is booked, you get paid the day after the guest arrives. So let's say that it's May 1st right now, and a guest arrived April 30th, my birthday, you'd get paid on May 1st. So what you would do is go into your multi-calendar, and from, I guess, today's date on back, look for reservations based on date of arrival. So you can see that it's all vertical. So go to April 30th, or let's use April 30th as a good example. So go and check for any reservations that are arriving on April 30th. And then in the next tab that you open with transaction history, go and see if you can find that payout in your transaction breakdown. You're gonna notice that there's going to be payouts potentially for multiple reservations, and it'll tell you that this is the total that you're getting paid, and there's going to be like 4 transactions in that tab, and like do the drop down on that to get the details from every transaction, and cross-reference all of your arrivals from, like, you'll get a payout on May 1st for all your April 30th arrivals, and it should list them all there. So use your multi-calendar, like look at all of your April 30th arrivals, and then look at all your May 1st payouts, right? Do the same thing for the 29th arrivals, April 30th payouts, 28th arrivals, April 29th payouts, and etc. And just go back one day at a time until you've completed your reconcile for the period of time that you want to check for. He said April 28th for about a solid week was where he did not get paid for some certain, payouts. But you should probably do this every month. Reconcile your entire month after the fact, so like May 2nd or 3rd, go through and check all of your arrivals for April, and by going back one day at a time. And just keep a notepad, and anytime that one doesn't pop up, you'll write it in your notepad as a reservation that has occurred that you never got a payout for. All right? So, step 2 here, which is the one I wanted to tell you about, you're going to go to your upcoming payouts. Now that you've done this reconcile for your last month, you're going to have some reservations that you noticed that weren't in your completed transactions. Go to your upcoming payouts and see if they're in your upcoming payouts. It's possible that they were queued and that they were never actually paid out for a certain couple of reasons. And this is the one that I wanted to bring up to you. If you've ever had a guest alter their reservation, this is where they likely owe you money. And what'll happen is a guest will make an alteration request. He'll approve it, and then it'll say we had a trouble processing this guest's payment. But then 30 seconds later or a minute later, you'll have another email saying that the reservation has been accepted, the update has been accepted. What'll happen is when somebody makes an alteration request and the payment had an error at any point in time, it kicks it out of Airbnb's payment system. So it goes into queue for like collections, but then it can end up in limbo. So even after the payment gets approved, the reservation got kicked out of queue by accident. Sometimes Airbnb will actually approve an alteration where the guest did not pay, but Airbnb thinks that they did. And I don't know how this happens, but it's happened for a few reservations. So what I do is I go into my upcoming transactions and I just look for anything that is in the past. You might see that you have transactions for 2016, 17, 18, 2019, earlier in the year. And what you'll have to do is you'll call Airbnb. You're going to call them about the things that RT talked about, the reservations that occurred and there's never a generated payout at all. You'll call them about those, and then you're going to call them about all of your upcoming payouts that are in the past. What you're going to notice is sometimes you're going to have an Airbnb resolution in there. Sometimes you're going to have a $2,000 reservation. Like here's another one that can happen is we had a guest who altered their reservation down. Right? So their reservation was going to go until like July 31st. Well, they dropped it down to June 12th. Because it was a multi-month reservation, they don't get a refund for these dates. We actually sent them a special offer where they would get a partial refund for the dates, but they would still owe a little bit more than if they just booked, until June 12th. So what happened is Airbnb wanted to pay me out monthly as they're supposed to for chunks of the reservation, but that final payout was after June 12th. There's going to be this payout like June 15th or something strange. But because the reservation changed and changed the payment schedule, Airbnb's system didn't update, and there's about $1,300 that just got skipped, that we should have got paid immediately when that alteration happened, but we didn't get it. So alterations tend to be the core reason why Airbnb will screw up payments. So when you call them, you'll let them know the reservation code, the amount, they'll find it in your system, and then they will go back and they'll look. And what'll happen is if a guest stayed but did not pay, that has to get queued for collections. And it doesn't get queued for collections until you actually call Airbnb, and then they'll put it up for collections. And then they'll spend, they said 48 to 72 hours is usually how long it takes to resolve. And follow up with Airbnb, I do this every couple of weeks or I do this at least every month to make sure that you're getting all of your money. And all of you, if you have any real history on Airbnb, should see that your upcoming payouts have some listed in the back, like in the past. So I hope this helps. Obviously for 95% of you, this should give you a little extra money in your pocket. And always be wary of your finances with Airbnb because they're not perfect. And so with that said, I wish you all much success. Thank you for being a subscriber and hitting 30,000 with us. If you need anything, I'm always here for you. Thanks for watching Airbnb Automated, and I'll see you on the other side. Oh yeah, and by the way, for those of you who are wondering, this is one of our Philadelphia properties. This is what they look like. I'll show you a couple more in another video. So welcome to Philadelphia.